So this is 4.3, the collecting data, the beta lesson. Okay. And we want to talk about establishing causation. Well, there's a challenge there. So in order to establish causation, that's why we have an experiment, okay, and an observation. We cannot establish causation. We need to have an experiment. We have to have random assignment of treatments to the one group, the experimental group, and you need to have a control group. Best case scenario, we have that. If we don't have that, well, our larger inputs associated with larger outputs. The issue is going back to correlation does not imply causation. The fact that two things go together does not mean one caused the other. There's an example in the book about this for one of the problems. I'll have to reinforce them. And then ethics. Well, what's ethical? First thing, IRB. If you get to the point where you're doing this, you're writing study, you have to go to the internal review board. Every college has one. You're going to submit your work, the IRB, and those people go over it in order to do this. In order to be aware of what's going on so the school doesn't get sued. That's what IRB is. Informed consent. So we talked about with the COVID vaccine. You're getting this paperwork that you have to read and you have to sign off on it. You acknowledge, even though you're participating in this, you may get the placebo. And confidentiality. And the book points out that confidentiality is not the same thing as anonymity. Okay? So there's, the best way to communicate this is the two questions, and they are 105 and 111. Okay? I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go through those. We're going to pause this, and you're going to those two questions. Okay, so 105. 105, it says this. One of the better studies on the effect of regular attendance of religious services gathered data. And there is a citation. So if I turn to the back of the book, which you don't need to do, this is from USA Today, August 1999. So this was published, this study. And it says, churchgoers were more likely to be non-smokers, physically active, and at their right weight. But even after health behaviors were taken into account, those not attending religious services regularly were still more likely to have died. What conclusions can we draw from this study? So, first off, it's an observation. Because the participants chose to go to church or not go to church. That's the truth. That's going to church. There's no random assignment of treatment, so you can't say that going to church caused you to live longer. Okay? Now, you could say, you could infer that these people regularly participate in events or in activities that have a lower, correlate with a lower risk of early death. But it doesn't cause, going to church does not cause you to live. All right. So that's what's important. Okay? And then 111 is about Facebook, and it says, in cooperation with researchers from Cornell, Facebook selected 700,000 users and manipulated without their knowledge. Whoa! Manipulated what they saw without their knowledge. I mean, you need further confirmation of Zuckerberg to sketch a character? So that is cited at they just give the web page for you. This, and I'll tell you what, where was bumped. Okay? So what's going to happen is this. If you are at home, you are dismissed to go, now keep this in mind, and that's all for